Teneo made no redactions because what you produced was 837 pages of emails that contained nothing but news clippings. So there were essentially nothing to redact. It's all public. Mr. Klein, your production, half of it was public tax returns, which are available publicly, and then there were redactions of the other records, 925 pages of publicly available PGA Tour tax returns was part of your production. I held up the McKinsey documents, which consisted of blank pages, but Mr. Lesser, an example of your production, 40 pages of calendar invitations. I have them here in front of me. You're familiar with them. Every one of those calendar invitations redacts the names of all the meeting attendees. Not really useful. So I could go on. In the interest of time, I won't, but I would not call that compliance or cooperation. And let me just finish with a round of questions which I think follows up on the point I made about qualms of doing business in Saudi Arabia. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Sternfels, one of your past engagement for the Saudi government, and I would have hoped that you'd identified it, was to conduct research to identify so-called major influencers who had been critical of the Saudi government on social media. Is that correct?
Senator, no, we did no such work for the Saudi government.
Well, let me just show you a slide which identifies a number of individuals. I'm sure you've seen the slide because it comes from McKinsey. One of those individuals, Omar Abdul Aziz, who was a friend of Jamal Khashoggi, alleged that his family members were not only arrested but tortured by the Saudi government after McKinsey helped to identify him. Of the other two individuals on this page, Khalid al-Khami was arrested, and a third, Ahmad, who had been anonymous, disappeared from the internet after being identified by McKinsey. Mr. Abdul Aziz managed to avoid arrest himself only because he was in Canada. You're saying that this slide does not reflect work that you did in any respect or any form for the Saudi government?
Absolutely, Senator. This is no work that we did for the Saudi government. This was work that was done for internal purposes. We conducted a thorough investigation and found that there was no evidence of misuse. This material never left McKinsey. And respect to the individual in question, both lawsuits that he brought against us were dismissed in U.S. court, sir.
Why did you do this kind of slide and perhaps other material identifying dissidents in Saudi Arabia?
Senator, I can't comment to why it was created. What I can comment is that it never left McKinsey.
Did you do that kind of work with respect to dissidents in other countries?
Senator, I can't comment on the work that we've done. That is not a type of work that we do.
Have you ever done that work in China?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Okay. Well, let me just say in closing, we appreciate your being here. As I said at the beginning of this hearing, the ramifications for this proceeding have potential to echo far outside this chamber. Whatever happens next, the course of the federal government's oversight of United States companies in their dealings with foreign governments and foreign investors simply cannot and should not be dictated by a foreign power. We've heard a lot today about consultants before us feeling caught in the middle. and having no choice but to bend to the will of a bully. We don't take on lightly the unprecedented and aggressive stance that the PIF has taken. The PIF is an arm of the Saudi kingdom, of the Saudi government, of the Saudi ministry, and you have an obligation to follow United States law. Contracting with a foreign government or entity does not eliminate that responsibility, in my respectful view. I'd like each of the companies that are before us today to commit to appear before this panel again should we have additional questions about your compliance or the information you've provided. Do all of you commit to be here again?
Yes, Senator.
Yes, Senator.
Senator, yes, we will.
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. I again want to thank the ranking member for his partnership and support.